And doing that level of work for years at a time at that capacity definitely takes a toll. Well, it did on me. A good day feels really different now than it used to. So in the beginning, a good day in therapy was one filled with clients, where I would start at around 9 in the morning and have 2, maybe 3 clients before lunch, maybe another 3 afterwards. That would take me into the evening, and that would be a good day. Why? See, that's the trick. Why did I define that as a good day? Well, to me, it was a sign of success. I was doing well. I had clients. I was being productive. I was helping people. And then there's the financial piece as well, which we can't ignore. As I mentioned earlier in another video, as therapists, we get paid by the session. Either directly by the client or their insurance company. And so the more sessions on a given day, the more income we've made that day. The more sessions in a week, in a month, in a year, you see where this is going. So on all levels, it seemed to be indicative of success. At some point that changed. And I believe age and burnout were factors in that change. Because over time, doing that day after day, carrying the heavy weight of people's concerns, their worries, their problems, the things they're trying to work on, does start to take a toll. It does start to weigh on you, and it's heavy. I don't know about others. Perhaps there's therapists out there who can see more clients than I did in a month and do it for years longer than I did. For me, it was beginning to take a toll. So what does a good day in therapy look like now? Well, for one, on Mondays, I generally don't see clients unless there's somebody who really needs to come in for something, and that's the only time we can find. I'll make the exception. But other than that, Mondays are my day to sort of recover from the weekend and all the activities with family and get myself oriented towards a work week. So now a good day is only some day between Tuesday and Friday. And generally that would mean having maybe 1 client or maybe tops 2 that morning. And that would look like a good day. Nothing hanging out over my head into the afternoon. Both clients are in the morning, maybe back to back, probably not starting till 10 now as opposed to 9. And seeing my 2 clients, being helpful and productive, and then kind of moving on with my day to either make YouTube videos, to do photography projects, relax, smell the roses, all those interesting things that we all want to do, recreate, hobby, all those things that retirement and semi-retirement can bring for us. Now let's contrast that with what a good day in photography would look like. And there's several. They really don't all look the same. So a good day in photography would be having an ideal client scheduled that day. One where the type of shoot they want is really well within my wheelhouse, aligned with the type of photography I really like to do, and at a time and location where I know we can capture really good results and be able to make some truly memorable and impactful images. That would define a good day. Now, what are the times a day? Well, generally, that would be very early in the morning. But with my sleeping these days and my need for rest, that one doesn't tend to happen as often. Mostly now a good shoot would be in the later afternoon, the last hour and a half or so before sunset, where the light is the most beautiful and the softest, the most flattering on people's skin, where I can truly use my skills and my wonderful equipment to create something truly impactful and memorable and unique for that client. And when I can walk away from that session feeling that I've hit that goal, I've made that mark, I feel achievement and I feel success, and that I've contributed to that client's well-being. Whether it's a senior shoot for a high school graduate that they're going to have pictures to look on forever, or that it's a business shoot for a client needing headshots or business photos to help promote them professionally and grow their business. That is what an ideal, excellent day in photography would look like. For me, currently. Now let's contrast the energy that I feel after a good day of therapy or any day of therapy versus a good day in photography. And that's where the biggest change really has come about. Even a good day in therapy does have some bit of a factor of drain. It is tiring. There's no doubt about it. Thinking, planning, actually having the session with that client, guiding them through whatever it is they're looking to explore, holding space that might be heavy if they're dealing with something highly concerning. And at the end of a psychology day, even a reduced day that I'm experiencing these days, there still is that weight. And I think in a sense, that's kind of like the burnout that we talked about in other videos. And it didn't happen. I've had my private practice 11 years now. It's the longest I've had any particular kind of job. And so, yeah, it definitely took a toll. It still does, but with just 1 or 2 clients a day, it's minimal. I can get past it pretty easily. And that's one of the reasons I've cut down so much. Now let's talk about photography and the energy we feel. Why? Because this impacts all of us. If you're making a transition, it has to be one that you feel an energy, you feel more vibrant, more energetic, rather than drained. Or why make the change in the first place? So with photography, and that was the one thing I'd noticed. Let me take a step back. That was what really started to kind of turn my ship in another direction. I made a realization one day, and at some point I noticed that I'd never left a therapy session frustrated or angry or stressed. But I realized, I contrasted that I had left many therapy sessions feeling that way. And I think that was what really sort of coalesced everything into the idea that a transition was not only possible, but was starting to become necessary. So talking about energy, it's better now because that realization helped me slow down and cut back on the amount of therapy sessions that I do and the types of clients that I see that are more aligned with where I'm at in my career at this point. So it's better, but yet the energy leaving a photo session is entirely different. It's one of excitement versus one of completion. And why does this matter so much more now? Because as we get older, as we get to this stage in life, we realize peace, harmony, contentment mean more than money. At least that's what I've come to realize. And I'm happy to make a bit less money to feel peace, to feel happiness, to feel that I'm enjoying life. And that's why these transitions matter so much. That's why being in tune with ourselves and the impact of our work matters so much, because that impact is huge when it comes to our well-being and our emotional and mental health. So I just kind of like to wrap this up by saying, pay attention where you can to our mental health, our state of being at the end of a workday, our state of being before a workday. You know, those Sunday dreads that people often talk about on social media, that is telling. And when we're feeling those, it's so important to tune in, try to see what lesson we can take from it, what we can learn from it, and realize that those lessons might be leading us to a change, and that change is okay at this stage of life or any stage of life.